Mighty Radio.
Hello, and welcome to this brand new edition of 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez. Alongside me is not Albert Cita. On the phone, we have Guillermo Cita, and filling in for this show, special guest Jason Hendricks of the podcast Dos Leprechauns. Jason's been a long time correspondent of 5 Round MMA. He'll call in, and he has a new podcast, Dos Leprechauns. What's the podcast center on, Jason?
What's the what?
Your podcast center on Dos Leprechauns. What's the thing?
Mainly Notre Dame football, everything Notre Dame athletics, MMA, and pro wrestling.
Cool. So today's show got a lot to talk about. UFC 199, not only the event itself, but all the announcements they made, the return of Brock Lesnar, the rematch of Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor, and we also have a special guest, Bellator fighter Fernando Gonzalez in the championship round. So Guillermo, how's it going, man?
I'm doing good. I'm out here in Vegas, soaking up everybody's excitement over UFC 199.
So let's jump right into round number one, UFC 199. Hell froze over. Up is now down. Down is now up. Left is right. Right is left. Michael Bisping is a UFC champion. Hashtag 10 years in the making, supposedly. I don't know what to say about this. I really can't talk about this, but you guys go ahead and go for it. I mean, Guillermo, you were... You picked Bisping to win, so go for it.
Just in watching the press conferences, like the week leading up to the fight, I felt there was something about Luke Rockhold that just didn't strike me well. If you guys saw my picks, I picked Michael Bisping to win this. I also heard that Luke Rockhold wasn't healthy because his knee was hurting. So I took all that into consideration, and I was like, you know what, Michael Bisping, if he can get a punch in there, he might be the champ. So, I picked Michael Bisping. I think even just watching the fights, Luke Rockhold looked, I want to say lackadaisical, but I mean, it seemed like he's like, I've beaten him before, this is a piece of cake, and Michael Bisping had a punch of his chance. And I mean, like everything that Michael Bisping's done recently, you gotta consider him one of the top middleweights of all time.
Oh my God!
So the Albert Cita is here in studio, but like he's so distraught out of the outcome of UFC 199, he refused to take part in this segment, so he'll join us for the rest of the show. But Guillermo, I'm pretty sure if Albert was here for that, he probably would have said, "You're freaking crazy."
You would have been met. You would have been met, but start looking at what Michael Bisping has done in his resume and the names he's beaten. We talk about how a win over a certain guy, you technically get all those wins. So Anderson Silva, he got all those those championship fights. Now Michael Bisping under his belt, he has this Luke Rockhold. I
can't believe that, tell you the truth.
Yeah. So I mean, like in his current run, the guys he's beating are the elite.
I mean, like,
hold on, you're calling him the elite?
I mean, a 40-year-old Anderson Silva post PED era, and then Jorge Rivera. Come on now, CB was CB.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Sometimes you need some luck to go on these runs. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like you need some skill, but sometimes things just work out in your favor. I mean, like it's the stars align, and I mean, it's not your fault that things line up perfectly for you. If people weren't ready for Michael Bisping or didn't take him lightly, Michael Bisping wouldn't be in the place he is now. He's in the place he is now because of a little bit of luck. You're telling me Dominic Cruz didn't get a little bit lucky?
What? No, he didn't.
In terms of everything that's rolled across, I mean, what if he would have had the TJ Dillashaw fight? He might not be champion. I mean, but then he has a favor fight.
He beat Dillashaw to get the favor fight. So.
But my point is, sometimes things align in your favor.
Well, speaking of alignment, I think we all pretty much consensus now that Dan Henderson is the number one contender for the middleweight championship, right? After knocking out Hector Lombard and then owning one of the greatest knockouts in history over Michael Bisping, I'm pretty sure give Hendo one more run.
I totally agree with you because remember what Hendo did to Michael Bisping.
Yep,
Michael Bisping's on this run, and honestly, it's going to be a knock on Michael Bisping if he beats Hendo. Because you're going to say the same thing. Oh, he's already over 45 years old.
Exactly.
Fighting Michael Bisping.
Exactly, that's what I'm going to say.
Why is that Michael Bisping's fault? Right?
Anyways, we're just hating on the hate.
First of all, I picked Bisping to win too, and I think the only reason is to agree with the Guillermo on this is that the stars do have to align, and that's the only reason I picked Bisping. I can't stand Bisping, but like you said, Rockhold didn't seem right leading up to it. Some of the training montages didn't look right. And then going in, he had his hands down the whole time. He looked tired. He looked... the crap talking going back and forth, it seemed like he was just kind of there, not really participating. So, yeah, I just felt Bisping was going to.
You can't just show up and expect to beat a guy. You actually have to compete and try, and that's what I felt Luke Rockhold. I mean, over here in Vegas, I mean, when the knockout happened, I mean, you didn't really see. You saw it in pictures, but everybody was surprised what Michael Bisping was able to do.
Yeah. So we're almost at time. Let's jump to the co-main event: Dominic Cruz versus Uriah Faber. I mean, Cruz pretty much shut the door on the Faber rivalry, and pretty much I think give Faber his last title shot in the UFC. Just thoughts on we all know what Cruz can do, but where does Faber go from here? It's a big question mark now. Is he fight night main event now? Faber versus somebody?
I think he's just that name. I think he's the Anderson Silva of that weight class. I mean, he's the one-time legend, one-time champion, who now is going to be kind of a glorified gatekeeper.
UFC Fight Pass special. Uriah Faber versus somebody.
Yeah, exactly. It's sad.
The thing is that he can either be a gatekeeper or he can still main event certain parts with the right name. So, I mean, like, you're talking about, like, a Chuck Liddell towards the end of his career, Wanderlei Silva towards the end of his career, Kong Lee towards the end of his career. These guys were superstars, legends in the sport, and, they were still main eventing a lot of these international cards, these fight night cards. That's Uriah Faber can continue doing that.
Yeah, so, I think now super fight between Dominic Cruz and Mighty Mouse, only thing should happen next?
Well, no, you got TJ Dillashaw still in the mix. And then you have Albert's boy, Rafael Assunção.
Oh, yeah, Assunção. So basically after Cruz defeats Dillashaw and Assunção, then super fight Mighty Mouse, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, and then I could possibly see that, but, that's a tough thing because, remember, Mighty Mouse had a different weight class, but Mighty Mouse has a loss against Dominic Cruz. Does he want to move up again? Yeah. Or does he want to have Dominic Cruz come down to a weight class that Demetrius Johnson has never tasted defeat?
Nah, ain't gonna happen. Anyways, Guillermo, thank you for joining us. Enjoy Las Vegas. Albert's gonna come in here in round number 2 now that we're doing UFC 199.
Well, before you let me go, it's crazy that we talk about UFC 1. We're talking about UFC 199, but here in Vegas, the headlines were everything that you're going to talk about in the next couple rounds.
Yep.
Oh, it's all 200 and McGregor, right?
Yep. So that was all over Vegas. So.
All right, dude. Have a safe trip back to California.
All right. Thank you. See you guys.
All right. Time for round number 2. The biggest news of the night for UFC 199 wasn't the change of championships, wasn't the Cruz retaining. It was the return of the man beast. We call him here Man Bear Pig.
And Brock Lesnar, that's with 100% compliment.
The mayor,
no way is that a diss on
the mayor of Suplex City, former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar will return at UFC 200 against opponent to be determined. Jason, Albert, just give me your reaction when you first heard this news.
Well, the most intriguing thing for me is will Paul Heyman be in his corner? Will Paul
I doubt it, but
I just think I'm so pumped. I know that WWE and UFC have both said it's going to be a one-off, so we know how that goes. But so I'm going to just throw it out there right off the bat. I would love for this to be a Fedor versus Brock situation.
I doubt that's going to happen.
I mean, I think my theory is that they have to throw him a tomato can, right? It can't be a tough fight. I mean, it has to be a tomato can.
Maybe. I even saw Shane Carwin's name being thrown around as a return fight. That's a tomato can for you. I mean...
Because, like, the commercial was Brock Lesnar by himself. So it doesn't even matter who's fighting.
Dude, I saw, like, the funniest meme. It had Brock Lesnar, flexing. So, I'm going to destroy TBD.
That's funny. To be determined. But, I mean, okay, so we know... Lesnar's previous run in the UFC was kind of harmed by his diverticulitis. Right. He even said, if you watch the Stone Cold podcast, like... it bugged him. Like he said, I wish I was 100%. I even wish the UFC was back when I was out of college. I would have gone. I wouldn't have gone to WWE. I would have gone straight to UFC and fought for a living. But now that he's completely healthy, but just because you're healthy doesn't mean you can't take a punch. I mean, what was the biggest knock on Lesnar when he was fighting? As soon as he got hit, he completely shelled up, right? Didn't he?
I think it was more just that he was so green. I mean, you figure he fought Frank Mir, he fought Alistair Overeem, Randy Couture, but
Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, he fought some of the best. But I mean, if you think about it, he only had 8-9 fights total in his career so far as a MMA fighter. I think it's more that he's green more so than he can't take a punch.
So I think if he learns more striking, more striking defense, I think he can have another title run, I think.
Yeah.
That's what the assumption that he's going to face somebody like in the top 5. I really think you're going to get like the Frank Mears or, for some reason Roy Nelson's going to get into this picture.
Where's Brendan Schaub at?
Something like that. Yeah.
Meathead.
Maybe we'll see the return of Brandon Schwab.
Nate had an interesting take yesterday. He said, what about maybe Mark Hunt?
Mark Hunt? Ooh,
no, don't do that. Don't do that.
No,
that's good.
Don't do that for who? Who would
for Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
he's going to get knocked out. But I think it's going to be the lower level heavyweights, I think. Stephen Struve, I don't know. What's Roy Nelson doing? Josh Barnett's been petitioning on Twitter, but he's going to be booked, I think. I think he's just got booked.
I think that'll be a good one, Josh Barnett.
But
it'll be all right. I just think if it's a one-off, you really got to capitalize on that opportunity to make money. Whether it's a one-off or not, I mean, that's their chance to really say, hey, here's Brock, here's our freak show, if you will.
Yeah.
And what better way to do that than against a guy like Fedor
or Kimbo?
And a funny thing too is like I have never seen such like an agreement between two parties. Like WWE literally tweeted out
what they say.
They said at Brock Lesnar to compete at hashtag UFC 200 prior to return at major WWE event. Because he's going to come back and
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Hashtag WWE Universe. Hashtag brand split. Hashtag Cena Nation. Hashtag Roman Reigns. Is that what, my theory is for WWE too. They're hoping Brock Lesnar wins just to book Brock Lesnar against Roman Reigns to make Roman Reigns look even stronger. Look at Roman Reigns just defeated the UFC.
Beat a UFC champion. Yeah,
that could be the way.
God.
But I mean, it's hype. Is this all because Conor McGregor pulled out UFC 200? If McGregor versus Diaz 2 stayed as put for UFC 200, would any of this happen, you think? Or is McGregor's that big of a star that they need to pull out Brock Lesnar? They need to possibly pull out Fedor?
I think Dana White actually felt the pressure.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, if I got to give something big here, or else we're not going to hear the end of it.
Yeah.
And what better way than Brock Lesnar?
Well, because, even with Conor McGregor, UFC 200 was kind of a weak card, I thought. I mean, and then the Conor event was going to be Frank Yeager versus Jose Aldo. I mean,
yeah. It's UFC 200. It's a spectacle. It's like UFC 100. It's like the WrestleMania of UFC. So I think they're just adding more. You know what I'm saying? But also, what do you guys think about it maybe being a security blanket with all these recent pullouts, with all these recent injuries that have been happening right before fights? Yeah. Maybe he's like, screw it, I'm going all in. Because what if freaking, I don't know, somebody gets hurt? What if Edgar gets hurt? What if Aldo gets hurt?
No, that's a good point.
What if DC or Jones get hurt?
Sure, yeah. Because,
all these guys are injury prone too.
Yeah. Or if Bones Jones gets arrested for the 15th time, that could happen too.
I think now the biggest question mark is wait and see and who actually.
I just think if they were all in, they should just win all in. Like they should have like Frank Mir in the front row. Then he gets attacked in between fights. Like, what happened to Frank Mir? And then Brock Lesnar comes out, I'm back.
Well, it's also going to be too like. I think Mir isn't he in the middle of a PED scandal too? Remember?
That's right.
So
he
may not be available, but
that's true.
Damn it, Frank Mir! I would like to see part 4.
I'm good on that one. I want Fedor, Mark Hunt,
all we know is that
even Arlovsky. I don't even mind seeing Arlovsky versus Brock.
Your boy. That would be the true end of your boy.
That's fine.
All we know is that the UFC is going to be taking a suplex.
We just need a human sacrifice for UFC 200. That's it.
You gonna go in there?
No. You can pay me $1 million and I wouldn't do it.
All right, that's it for round number 2. Don't go anywhere. We're round number 3. We're talking McGregor versus Diaz. The rematch just officially announced, so do not go anywhere. Time for round number 3. Let's get this timer started. Guillermo's out today, so I'm doing the timer. So it was announced UFC 199 on Saturday that the rematch that everybody was waiting for to happen, McGregor versus Diaz 2.
You're right. Everybody's waiting for.
Will take place at UFC 202 in August. I'm not too sure where the location is at. Did you catch that? Or
it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
To me, it seems all this drama and hoopla of McGregor retiring, not want to do promos, going to do promos. Dana White, he's not fired, but he's suspended or whatever. All this stuff here, all to lead up to the same outcome. Even all the Mayweather talk all led out to the same addition or equation of McGregor versus Diaz 2. So it's just a bunch of drama for nothing.
No, Conor McGregor is a master marketer. I mean, this guy has the world at his fingertips, and he says, "You know what? Screw you, Dana. I'm doing it on my terms. This is my show. Right?
I want to fight not in July. I want to fight August.
He fights whatever he wants.
Is that what it is?
But just because of that tweet, he got the UFC even more mainstream attention. He got everybody talking about the UFC. He got everybody talking about him. He got everybody talking about Diaz. He made everybody freaking rich, and everybody wants to hate on him for creating this, but he created it to make more money for everybody.
Well, it's not like the UFC's not even fighting either. Well, we'll do what Conor wants to do, so we'll do it. We'll push it back a month in UFC 202.
He's making them billions, not millions, billions of dollars.
Albert, thoughts on this rematch?
Obviously, I'm gonna watch it, and obviously, I'm excited for it. It just gives me a bad taste in my mouth. Why all the stuff that had to go through just to get this fight made. It feels like the whole reason UFC is even there is so you don't have the whole boxing dilemma of like deciding on a weight class.
Promoter. Well, the prime example is this Canelo
and
right?
Triple G. Yeah. It's ridiculous. And you thought by everyone being under the UFC branch that you kind of get away from this. I thought that was the selling point of UFC. Like, well, we can put on whatever fight we want because we're all under branch, under contract. But apparently that's not the case. So to me, it's disappointing how it came about. But obviously, I'm excited for the fight.
Let's not talk about old stuff. Let's talk about the present. Let's talk about the future, and that is Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz
Mayweather and
Mayweather.
Whoever he fights, wherever he fights. If he wants to do friggin' Kimpo, some bullshit like that in some foreign country, he's gonna make somebody a crap ton of money.
How about Diaz giving the Stockton slap to Dana White?
Awesome.
Honestly, I don't think he slapped him hard enough. He should have really took advantage
Well, I'm
of
sure
that
I'm sure he held up, but still, just getting that on video, that's awesome for Nate Diaz.
It makes me seem like Nate Diaz was the one here who didn't want to put the fight together. Remember that meeting they had a couple weeks ago, and Stockton didn't go very well.
Yeah,
he seems the more difficult to deal with. But like you said, shouldn't Nate Diaz have the right to get paid as much as Conor McGregor? I mean, he's one.
Well,
oh my God!
No,
I kind of agree and I kind of disagree because one, technically, he just signed a contract, right? It wasn't too long ago that he did his contract.
All the chips are in his. All the chips are inside the table.
Well, maybe you should have put in.
If Conor's such a big star, put him against a broomstick and have him sell that out.
That's correct.
He should have put in his contract. Hey, if I make X amount of ratings, or am I part of a show that makes X amount of ratings, then give me a. I don't know. The point is, he didn't make his contract solid, so it's kind of hard to blame Dana White for telling him, hey, why don't you honor your contract instead of hitting me up for more money, bro.
I'm one of the biggest, you guys know from day one, I've been one of the biggest Diaz supporters when everybody's down on him. I've always loved the Diaz brothers. Obviously, Conor's my guy. He's Irish. I love that. He's just an awesome fighter. But Nate Diaz isn't selling out arenas, isn't main eventing head cards, getting all these sponsors, getting all this money, getting all this talk generated. Conor is. So, no, Conor deserves to be the big payday here.
Yeah, but like you said, this isn't boxing. You in the MMA, you need two guys to dance. I mean, this isn't boxing where you can go around, Pretty sure you need two in boxing, too, though. Well, but you can't put Mayweather against whoever he wants, and then it'll sell out. McGregor's like that, but I don't think he's that numbers for the UFC. Anyways,
yeah, but he doesn't have anything to back up his talk other than the fact that he beat Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Because let's keep it real. He lost against he's never had the belt for a reason. You know why? Because he didn't beat Benson Henderson.
Yeah.
He didn't get through Josh Thompson. He didn't beat
he beat Greg Maynard.
Yeah, but when Greg Maynard didn't even have the belt, and the guy was like,
they didn't announce it, but I assume there's about to be a welterweight, right? Again.
Yeah, it's gonna be a welterweight.
I mean, is it the same outcome
per Conor McGregor's request?
There's no way. The bottom line is, you know what you're getting with Nate Diaz. You don't know what you're getting with Conor McGregor. Conor needs to defend the takedown and to defend submissions. As long as he does that, he's gonna knock Nate out. Dude, I hate to say it, but he's gonna knock Nate out.
It's the honest truth, which frustrates me. If you watch the first part of the fight, Conor McGregor's doing whatever he wants and landing. It's not until he gets exhausted. And I even said it when I was watching the Embedded. I was like, what? Why is this guy eating so much and then is straining his body? It made no sense to me. And then finally, I'm glad that I'm not crazy because Conor McGregor literally said that. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I was sacrificing something for nothing. And so I think he's going to take a smarter approach and not get tired.
Yeah.
But even though Nate Diaz's boxing is amazing, Conor McGregor was still able to get inside, and he was landing some hard punches.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was any other fighter, they would have been out.
If you follow Conor McGregor like we do, the Dos Leprechauns do, you'll know how serious he's taking this fight already. We didn't know who he was training for, whether it was Floyd or freaking, like you said, a broomstick or whoever. But I'm telling you right now, he's taking this seriously. Nate is going to get hurt. And I freaking love Nate Diaz, and I hope he's able to recover. But he's going to get hurt badly in this fight.
Well, we shall see. Well, August 20th, UFC 202. McGregor
Can't wait,
versus
baby.
Diaz 2. We're going to take a break. We're going to be joined by Bellator fighter Fernando Gonzalez after the break, so do not go anywhere.
All right, we are back at FiveRoundMMA, and we are entering the championship rounds.
Jason.
Sorry. And this morning we have Bellator welterweight, the record of 25-13. Fernando Gonzalez. Fernando, thanks for jumping on this morning.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. So, we've been following your career in Bellator. I know you've had some good fights there. You're definitely moving up the ladder. But I just kind of want to start off with a question. I know we were excited to see you fight Michael Page, but it was in London. What happened there? What ended up happening with you having to get out of that fight?
We're putting everything together as far as my paperwork, everything, get ready to go out to, across the pond. And all of a sudden they got back to me and they said that we may have a problem with my visa issues. I'm guessing it was a work visa, but because I had my visa, I have my,
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't understand what the problem was if I have a regular visa, but honestly, I didn't want to get too much into it. It was just one of those things that it just seemed kind of off. But I don't know. I don't really deal with them on that sense. In that sense, if they want me to fight the guy, they'll have me fight him.
That's right.
So So, Fernando, you're still open to a bout with Page, right? I mean, this guy, he's been a pretty remarkable star for Bellator, and it would have been a big time matchup for you. So, I would assume you're still open to fight the guy, right?
Well, to be honest, I don't mind fighting the guy. I've been wanting to fight him. It's been twice in a row that we've been scheduled, and the first one he backed out, and that's why they try to spin it on me, because he'll back out 7 weeks, 8 weeks before a fight unless you're a pussy. I mean, that's basically what. and they try to spin that on me, and because they said visa and all this stuff, right? When we had talked, and then I don't know who leaked it or whatever, but they try to say that I got injured, and I honestly, I when they said an injury, someone had contacted me about an injury. I was like, oh, he possibly got injured, and that's what really happened. That's what I thought. And they were just trying to spin it on the visa thing, too, so I wouldn't have to say anything about it, But
yeah,
that's what in my mind, that's what I thought happened. So then I was like, oh, he got injured. So I was like, well, that would make more sense, as to why, because it didn't make sense as the visa thing for me. But then someone came back. They're like, hey, what's going on? It's saying that you're hurt. And I was like, fuck, I'm not injured. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Honestly, do you have anybody else lined up? Do you have anything else in the works to maybe fight here stateside, or somebody else? What's on the radar for you then at this point?
There was mention of possible, it's not for sure, but we had mentioned possible title shots and stuff like that. But the thing is it's a 5-month wait, and it's not a guaranteed title shot. He's injured they didn't give me a reason, but he's dealing with an injury right now. So they said that he won't be ready to fight until October. And for me, I thought that would have been great, but at the same time, that's a long wait. So we're really trying to work on getting something else and stay active, so that way when the champion's ready to go, I'll have another win on my record and less doubts as to why I deserve it.
Yeah, Fernando, you've been a pro for a very long time. You fought for King of the Cage, WEC, and Bellator. Now, under the regime of Scott Coker, what have you noticed the changes in Bellator? I know people have been kind of critical for them. You doing the Kimbo Slices versus the Royce Gracie and stuff like that, or Kimbo Slices versus Ken Shamrock. But what's your as someone who's on the Bellator roster, what are your thoughts on the changes that they're making there?
It's all in the positive, because even though they had that, they also brought in Benson Henderson.
Yeah.
And just with that name alone, it's starting to give. It's kind of like the movie Inception. It's planting the seeds to all the other fighters that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's other options, and instead of being under the boot, and so I'm really happy with them. I mean, obviously, there's certain things that I wish could be better on the side of promoting me a little more, so people get to know me better and they want to see me fight for the title. Because up until now, it's been underdog guy, So that's the only thing. But you can't. You're gonna have problems anywhere you go. Nothing's gonna be perfect. But I honestly believe right now, the company that I'm with is probably the best company to be fighting for right now.
Hey, we're going to take a quick little break right now, if you don't mind sticking around for the fifth and final round. We want to continue this conversation, talk to you about your fighting past and all that good stuff. Do you mind sticking around?
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back, everyone. All right, everyone, we're back for the fifth and final round with our guest, Fernando Gonzalez, Bellator fighter. Fernando, so we were talking about your future with Bellator and how the company's making changes to bring superstars in. Like I said, you've been in the fight game for a long time. The whole free agency in MMA is a big thing, and sponsorship info. How important is it for fighters to get the sponsorship and be allowed, to express themselves and get outside income along with fighting under contract?
Man, it's huge. Without our sponsors, we're not possibly able to make it to the fights. A lot of us, to make it to where we want to be, we put ourselves in debt. So. it would be kind of weird. But I'm about 5 fights deep, and I'm still in a sense paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Until show, so without my sponsors being able to help me out, it'd be a huge shit on me if I didn't have that. And I know, like with these guys in the UFC, it wasn't the bottom guys that got hurt, because just like me, in the beginning you're not making a whole lot of money off sponsors, but once like someone like Benson Henderson, Donald Cerrone, all these guys that are losing big sponsor money due to that deal, those are the guys who really got affected, and I thank God I'm not in that position, but I kind of wish I was, where I'm getting that money, but at the same time, that would suck to have it and then have them take it away like that.
Right. So just going back to the very beginning, I mean, what made you get into fighting? I know I was reading in your bio that you played some football in high school. Did you wrestle in high school? Did you just like to fight? Did you like the contact? What was it that drew you to MMA, and how'd you get started?
I've been boxing since I was a kid. I started boxing about, I was 5 going on 6 when they got me started. And then, I boxed all the way up until I got to high school, and that's when I stopped just so I could play. But right after that, I was back into it. It was maybe like a year or so after high school that I started to get the itch again. You get used to contact all your life. You want to, get that out.
Sure.
So that's kind of how it started. But and I was living in Idaho when I first saw my first MMA event. And out there's a lot of wrestling too. So there's guys I got to mess around with. But I never had wrestling in my high school. I didn't actually pick up the wrestling until I started doing MMA. But it was I didn't have any bad habits. And my first coach was Chris Brennan. My first jiu-jitsu coach, so he was, already a legend himself in the sport of MMA. And that guy showed me some really, really cool shit, and just put my mindset in a different, how MMA really is. It's kind of like Bruce Lee is be like water, and then there is no style. Every style is a style, or no style is a style. And they kind of opened light to that for me.
Where are you training out of right now?
I've been at Dan Henderson's gym for about 10 years now. Okay. But just obviously, the guys that I've learned to it has been different. Like I said, I didn't have any wrestling until I went to Chris's gym, and it was all like G1 wrestlers and CIF champions and like really legit wrestlers. So getting tossed around for the first couple years by those guys, got me some really good wrestling. And then right around that time is when Dan started getting ready for Vitor Belfort, the first fight, and they brought me in as a lefty to help him get ready. And I never left after that.
Nice.
So speaking of Hendo, excuse me, what your thoughts and reaction to his performance at UFC 199? I mean, the guy's in his mid-40s and still knocking guys out.
I was just so happy to actually be able to be there and witness it. There's been mention of him these are his last fights and stuff like that. I know it was his last fight on contract, but honestly now, after the performance that he put on last night and then the way it went down with Luke and Bisping, I don't put it past the UFC to get him this title shot finally. And against Michael Bisping, it'd be perfect, perfect scenario.
Yeah, all the stars seem to align for one last good run for Hendo.
I think so, and honestly, I think it'd be the best thing that the UFC could do, man, because everybody loves that man. And,
that's right.
He's done for that.
Retire with the belt and have it hanging up at Team Quest headquarters, right?
All 3 belts, man, that'd be awesome.
That'd be sweet.
All right, Fernando, that's it for today's show. I want to thank you for taking the time to speak this. Really appreciate it, man. We'll keep an eye out for you in Bellator. Hopefully get that fight with Michael Page going, man. I'd love to see that happen. Yeah,
honestly, I want my title shot first.
Oh, there you go.
If I have the belt and the champion calls you out, then you're a punk. You know what I mean?
You want to give a shout out to any of your sponsors real quick before we go off air?
For sure. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Heritage Tattoo, Those guys have been with me since day one. As far as the plastering, my uncle, same thing. SoCal Fresh, who's been trimming me up and keeping me lean now. So you guys are going to be seeing a much leaner frame on me next fight.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, you know, if I miss anybody, all my other sponsors that are supporting me, and thank you guys, and I love you.
All right, Fernando, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Fernando. Have a good day, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
Take care.
All right, you too.
All right, so Fernando Gonzalez, pretty good interview. A lot of interesting stuff to say, especially about the fighters. You know, it's nice to get a perspective from guys who aren't in the UFC, right, Albert? About, you know, the sponsorship and payout and stuff like that. So,
yeah, it's funny because all we hear is like the UFC's point of view as far as the sponsorship stuff like that, and it's funny. It's cool when you get to hear the other side of that story.
Yeah,
like we mentioned earlier, you know, Hendo with that impressive knockout over.
Stars are aligned.
You heard it from a guy that trains with him first. I mean, he's ready for it, and I think that really would be an amazing way to end a storybook career, because I don't think there's any doubt that Hendo would put Bisping on his ass again.
Fingers crossed for a lot of fans, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's it for today's show. I want to thank everyone for listening.
Circles left.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. It's FIVE. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Podomatic. And please visit FiveRoundMMA.com. You can also check out this podcast at FightBookMMA.com under the podcast page. That's FightBookMMA.com. A big thank you to Jason Hendricks from Dos Leprechauns for filling in for Guillermo today. Where can people find you and listen to your podcast?
You can find us on Twitter at Dos Leprechauns, and now thanks to Albert Sita here, you can find us on YouTube and just type in Dos Leprechauns and subscribe. We appreciate the support.
And thanks to Rock and Green Eco-Friendly Cleaner Products, the 5 Rounds clothing line, and of course the RMA Foundation, or Redemption Martial Arts. Albert, what do you got?
I just want to thank everybody for listening.
All right, Guillermo, get back to Vegas, ready?
You are now listening to FRMMA Radio.